Hey everybody, welcome to week number 5. The learning targets for this week, for week number 5, explore the collaborative nature of action research. So as you know, you have the option of a major academic project or action research. This week we're really focusing on action research. Explore collaborative approaches to researching teaching, and apply the principles of ethical research. So the first thing I want to say to you is I'd really encourage you, I do every week, but please review the unit notes this week. I think the unit notes this week are excellent. I didn't write them, just so you know, but I think very highly of them. And they talk a lot about ethical standards. And what's going to happen this week is we're going to dig into ethics. And your ethics section, regardless of whether you do a major academic report or action research, is a key piece of your proposal and your capstone. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of what you're going to do this week, I would argue, especially in DQ number 2, could find its way into your proposal and eventually into your actual capstone project, whatever that may be. So, and again, we've already talked about things like reflexivity. We're going to talk this week again about bias as part of that, and that whole idea of ethics in research. So we also know that for the researcher planning to conduct research involving human subjects, there are specific ethical protocols to follow related to the protection of and safety of the participants in their communities. So to that end, there is an activity that you're going to have to submit this week, which is the TCPS2 core, the course on research ethics. So you need to do that this week. You need to submit your certificate to me. There's a way to do that through Moodle. You're not going to receive a grade for that. It's either a yes or no. You've either done it or you haven't, and you've done your certificate. But please submit that by the end of the week. Also a reminder that you only need to actually do an ethics review in your actual capstone if, again, you're doing research involving humans. So that would be either an action research project that involves more than yourself, or if in addition to your critical literature review, you're doing like a survey to close a gap in knowledge or something. So if you're just doing a straight up critical literature review, you actually don't need to do a whole ethics package and send it to the ethics committee. It's only if you're using, human subjects in some way, either through a survey or a piece of action research. So I just wanted to clarify that again. There are 2 discussion questions this week. And what happens is, in addition to the course readings, the required readings, which again, there are some notes on those in the course news and bulletin section of Moodle. I hope they're of assistance to you. You have a choice of reading one of 2 articles. The first one is on using wikis, if I recall. The second one, I actually had a bit of trouble accessing it recently, so I'm going to reach out to YU about that. They're both about action research, so if you're like me and you had a problem accessing the second article, just do the first, because it's an either or. Those 2 articles, as you'll see, it's read the 3 required readings, and then it's either read one article or the other one. The first one is on wikis. So the discussion question number 1 says the 2 articles in this week's readings are on action research studies. Those are the 2 I just mentioned. Read at least one and discuss why action research was chosen as a methodology. Could these studies have been handled through other collaborative research approaches? Which ones and what would be gained or lost? So when considering this question after reading the article, it's an opportunity to reflect on how action research might work and to actually apply it. So basically what this discussion is asking you is you're going to get an example of how somebody did action research on this subject. What other possibilities might have existed in other ways they could have done action research on the same topic? So that's what they're asking when they say what other collaborative approaches could have been used. In other words, how else could they have done this? And that's the application piece of action research. So again, the article provides you an example, and you read it and then say, I wonder if there are any other examples of how action research could have happened there. The second DQ says, how does the dual role of the practitioner as researcher influence the research? Discuss the unique ethical considerations for a researcher within this framework. So again, as you answer that question after you've done the course readings, my guess is some of what you'll write there will find its way into your ethics section. just think about that as you're writing it. So now that we have our week 4 literature reviews in, it's time to really start thinking about the proposal that you're going to be submitting in week 7. As I've previously mentioned, please pay attention to the individual comments that I'm giving you on a weekly basis in those Word documents that I'm attaching to your grade by the week. Oftentimes, I will suggest certain things you've written should be put in certain sections of your proposal. So I'd really encourage you to do that as you're going along. And remember, the proposal outline can be found in week 7. So if you're saying, well, what's the final proposal look like? What are the sections? It's in week 7. So as you read my comments and say, hey, you should put this in the introduction, you should put this in your method section, this may fit here, start doing that, because week 7 isn't about starting the proposal from scratch. It's about taking everything you've done throughout the course and putting it together in a coherent whole. And so, as I've mentioned, a lot of what you write this week, especially in DQ2 probably, might fit within your ethics section. So enjoy the week. Keep asking questions. We're going to go back to our optional Zoom meetings this week. And really for weeks 5 and 6 for those optional Zoom meetings, it's really about talking about the week 7 assignment and putting your proposal together. And the good news is it's not just a week 7 assignment, it's also really the springboard into your actual capstone. So I'm really excited for you as you undertake this process. So continue to check the course news and bulletins. Reach out if you have any questions. Always happy to help. And have a great week number 5, everybody. Take care.